future club sport executives, what advice could you offer them?
I think a good piece of advice I have is that it might seem like you have to know everything or be perfect because you're an executive member, but you're learning and growing just like anyone else. And at the heart of it, you're still a player, and you have to remember to enjoy that part of the process, and that you're not just leadership and have to do all the behind the scenes. Like, at the end of the day, you're still a player that gets to stay involved with your sport and your team. And yeah.
So first, it's a chance to shape the team and have a positive impact on the team. So that would be the first thing, is that you have a chance to represent your team, and you should always want to do that well. But most importantly, you have a chance to really make an impact on the team and push it forward. So myself and Mitch Donovan, our vice president and captain, we've been executives for 3 years now, and everything we do, we try to do for the team. We try to do everything with the best intent for the team, because it's run by the players, with a ton of help from club sports, obviously, and coaches, and parents, but it's primarily run by the players. So if we want this team to have success, we want it to stick around at Northeastern for a while, we have to set a good example, and we have to make sure we're doing the right things for the team. So that's the first part, because they're important roles, and we have a lot to do. But second, it's fun. It's really fun to get involved. And I think the more involved you are, the closer you are with your friends and your teammates. And you find yourself in college, you think you're going to have a lot of free time, but you end up not having that much free time. You have a lot to do, and you're pretty busy. So kind of making sure that you're getting everything done, you're representing your team well, and, most importantly, you're having fun with your team. So that, I think, is the best part.
I think my big advice would just be, don't be afraid to ask for help and delegate. I think delegating was something I wasn't super good at when I started running the club. Like tryouts is one of the big time-intensive things that we do, and I learned very quickly I wouldn't be able to do it all on my own. So to really utilize your leadership team in whatever club you're running, as well as utilizing the club sports office too. I think there's a lot of good experience and advice that could come from the club sports staff. That's always at your disposal.
This piece of advice I could give to a future club sports exec: get involved, stay involved, and lean on club sports when you have to. We're so lucky to have the support that we have at Northeastern, and I know that you hear that a lot, but it really is true. Talk to your friends that play club sports at other universities. They don't have the same experience that we have, thanks to Nick and Chelsea and Drew and everybody else who works, day in, day out for us to be able to continue our athletic careers into college. I think that it's something that we're really, really lucky to have, such a dedicated staff and all the resources that we do. So please take advantage of it. Ask them questions when you need to. I was an exec for several years, and even during my senior year, I was sending emails that I knew I should know the answers to, but they're always happy to remind you and always happy to help. So please, if you want to make sure you're doing something right, don't hesitate to check in and just take advantage of the awesome resources that we have.
I think apart from everything I just said, definitely try to be there for your team and your players, because you're all there to have fun, to win, to play the sports that you clearly love, that you're playing it in club sports level. So I say definitely listen to your team. If something comes up, you should be there trying to help them. Listen to the club sports office, because they're there to help you as well. Some more of the same of what I've already said.
So just to roll right through from the last question of just, if you're the president or vice president, delegate as much as possible. It makes the rest of your board much stronger in the long run, and keeps you. It's a much more manageable goal and role as an executive if you delegate more. And then I'd say make realistic goals and routinely check if you're on pace. A lot of times we'll think to do something at the beginning of the season for a season-long goal, and then don't realize until the very end that we didn't even try it. So being able to maybe just keep a list or something like that, and then always, if you make too lofty of goals, people just kind of check out and be like, well, there's no way we could do that. So make realistic goals on what you want to do, especially in the beginning, and then work up to it once you've got some things under your belt. And I guess last piece of advice would probably be, or a couple, like two more, say. One is just pick your battles. Like, there's gonna be a lot of things that don't go your way, and making you gotta know when to stand up for yourself and understand that this is something that you need to fight for, and some things that, okay, well, not everything's gonna go my way. I'm not gonna make a big deal out of something like this. And it's up to everyone to decide which is important, which isn't, but don't make every single thing that doesn't go your way a tragedy. And then last is kind of similar to that, but just, you're if you're the president, you're ultimately responsible for anything that happens off the field, good and bad. So you have to understand what everyone's kind of doing within your e-board at all the times, and ultimately it's your responsibility to make sure the club's running right. So just, I don't know if it's as much advice, but just something, a forewarning of, make sure you really care. If you're going to do something, if you're going to put in this much time, or you're going to say you're going to put in this much time, definitely care about the overall standing of your club.
I mean, first of all, I think looking once, I think sort of what I have noticed is it's better to sort of have an e-board that is gonna be around for a slightly longer time, as opposed to rotating between leadership on a yearly or semester basis. I think that having an e-board which is gonna be there for a longer time gives the club a little bit more stability. And that's sort of where I went with as well, in terms of like choosing a vice president last semester, and now he is our president. I was lucky enough that we found this really enthusiastic and really great undergrad freshman who was interested in the role. So I think sort of keeping that in the back of your mind to look out for potential replacements and to see how long those replacements are going to be around. I think that would be my sort of advice to in general. I think that might be more general, but yeah.
I would say for future club sports executives, like, make sure you take initiative and don't be shy and don't back down. Club sports is always there to help me in my 4 years, and then especially in my senior year when I had a plan and had to set goals for the team. They would constantly do everything in their power to make sure our needs were being met and everyone was happy. And another thing aside from that would be, if you're an executive going in to your senior or even junior year, like, set goals for your team and then celebrate the small victories, because they mean so much. And at the end of the day, like, it's just an amazing celebration to have, and then it keeps everyone happy on the team. Even though our season got cut short this year, having those small victories helps so much.